Ah, buddy. I'm back. Alright, so here's the present circumstances. I quit vaping earlier today. I'm actually gonna go with I quit yesterday. even though I quit this morning and now it's 5 p.m. I'm gonna go with I quit yesterday because oh Lord, time is in flux, man. This is my second recording, sort of pertaining very much so about what I was talking about before, about letting go of this thing. And I have already decided, that's already in the past. The last hit off of a vape, nicotine vape, that is in my past. That is in my memories now. But you know what is in my current? In my current. This is freaking 5 p.m. Is that little devil. That little motherfucker. The little guy in the brain. There's this little guy in the brain, and he's like, yeah, but why don't you, moderation, man. Everything in moderation. Every once in a while. Come on. Lighten up. It's not a big deal. Everybody's got something. No, you know what? You're right. I hear you. Maybe it would totally be better if I was not manic, crazy, buku, unhinged, unconnected, and detached, and unsocialized, and just a crazy fucking weirdo to people. Maybe that would be worse than if I just had a crippling nicotine addiction, right? If you had a crippling nicotine addiction, at least that'd be quieter, You could just keep that thing in your pocket, hit it in the bathroom stall. When you think no one's looking. You're always looking. Walking down the street, down the sidewalk, you try and time it so that way a car doesn't see you do it as they're going by. You want to keep up the good presentations. You want to let that random person in the car know that you mean business. That you're a good guy. That you're totally not going to press the red button. Shy. Right, so I thought, because I'm doing this, I thought, why not just go full bore? And I thought I would have the ability to help somebody else do this. And in the same way, perhaps this will help me too. Law of interdependence. Right now we're doing some of that Alex Honnold double rope climbing. We're held on to the gear together, We're held on together. And so, what I figured, what would be helpful? I'm gonna go through, I've tried to quit fucking dozens of times at this point in my life. This is probably the longest I've gone without it. This feels like the most steadfast that I've ever been about this. It feels like I've already made the decision, and now I'm just like kind of like flexing my abs so I can absorb the punch of whatever the withdrawals are. And so far it's been really, really weird. Right? The withdrawals, I don't know if they necessarily come in as something very distinct. I think at first, this is what happened. It's, every time I get into my car, I pull it out of my pocket. And then right after I shift my car into reverse, I put it into my lap between my legs. And then when I back out and I shift my car into drive, that's when it comes from the lap to the lips. It's something about ritual, something that I always do with my body. And then you just start noticing that, oh shit, that thing that I've been doing for a long time. Here is a moment where I'm sure you get the picture. There's just like there's something about this that is coming to my awareness that usually I'm unconscious in this moment. And when I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking dinner, same thing. That thing is right there, like you wouldn't even believe. It's no biggie, it's no problem. It's all these little moments of just noticing when you would have had it and then you didn't. Oh, dude, what was awesome? There's actually a few things that are awesome, but I'll get into this one. At first, I sat. Oh, dude. It starts out as this like really dreadful thing where it is bizarre. This thing that has been hurting you, let's make no mistake about it, right? Vaping, if you had to just guess if it was good or bad for you, what would you say? Is that good or bad for you? If you just had to put your finger on it, right? So when I say that this thing that's hurting you, let's make no mistake that this thing is not good for you. And that you gaslighting yourself into believing that you like that feeling right after you hit it, lies. You hit it after you haven't hit it after for a few hours, and all of a sudden you get that shortness of breath right after, and you're like, you don't like that. Do you actually like that? Do you actually like that? The shame that comes with it, is that good? Do you actually like that? Okay, I'm not gonna go and berate that any longer from that angle. I cooked my dinner and I sat down at my desk in my room, and I felt this fucking dread, dude. I want to go back. I don't give a fuck. Things aren't linear, and I can storytell however I want to. I went to the mall today to drop off some USPS packages because I am a legendary salesman on Depop. Hashtag be your own boss. And so I've been selling some clothing, knickknacks, and stuff on Depop, been making a little bit of cash flow. And so I went to the USPS at the mall, and then, oh man. And because of two, like, really big, like, significant life changes that I encountered today, I have, everything else in my life has been in flux. So for the past many, many years, like, exercise, art have always been in my life at some capacity, most definitely. And then for this last, 2-3 years, the exercise has been, really prevalent in my life. Same thing with nutrition and diet, but, obsessive. Every time I look into the mirror, guess where I'm looking? Right there at my goddamn fucking... right there at that. Right there with the umbilical cord where that thing should be. And just listening to that thing taunt me. Look how big I've gotten. And it's all body dysmorphia, and I'm looking through the world through, funhouse mirror glasses, and then, 20 minutes later, I could look in the mirror, and it's just, I'm, like Mark Wahlberg in a Calvin Klein underwear photo shoot, and it's just... It's not about the body. It's about where the hell my mind is at. So, anywho, and so exercise has been a part of my life, blah, blah, blah. I'm at the mall, USPS, and I'm thinking to myself, right, I like exercise at the mall. I'm going to go walk around the mall. There's nothing I'm going to buy. I am, dude, I got to tell you, I'm so... deeply, deep in the substrate of my life, I'm sniping right now. I'm set up in the direction of all these sorts of long-term goals that I have from my life that I'm trying to take my life in the direction of. And so these things are just kind of operating in the background of my life at this point. I walk around the mall. I go into no stores. I don't buy anything. I just try and, observe my mind, get exercise, sell my parcels, my packages, get around different, people's energy, human energies. And really, it's going to the mall. Fucking whatever. Okay, so that's that. Just trying to be the kind of person that my soulmate deserves. They deserve somebody who can... Someone who can use logic and reasoning skills. Oh, this thing's bad for me. I'm gonna not do that. right? Like, someone who has, like, basic, functional skills. I'm not going to buy that because I'm too poor. Someone who just makes rational decisions. So I want to be that person for my soulmate. And so, part of that has been, no longer getting rid of my vape, getting rid of my doohickey. Because of all the things that entails in my life. It's more than just the chemicals. It's the various patterns of behavior that surround it, like the hiding, the shame, the secrecy, and just knowing that it's not good, and just developing a fuck it attitude in the wrong sense of fuck it. Because sometimes, look, you could totally have a fuck it attitude. For example, what I've been doing is I've been a little sweeter with myself, of course. I mean, first off, the vaping thing, it's already been done. The Band-Aid has already been pulled off. The injection has already been given. My last hit has already been taken. And that is my MO. I fucking hate Ram Dass right now. I fucking hate Alan Watts right now. Those fucking assholes, bro. Fuck those assholes, dude. Alan Watts said, he's like, if you're ever gonna quit drinking or quit the cigarettes, don't announce it. Just never let the devil know what you're doing. And then Ram Dass said, he's like, yeah, you ever come across one of those smokers? It's like, yeah, I haven't smoked in 4 years, 28 days, 3 months, and 4 seconds. And you just become that kind of neurotic. I swear to God, dude, I have been performing that Father, Son, Holy Spirit, like, body sort of touch your forehead, touch your chest, and touch your shoulders thing so many times today. And I wouldn't even necessarily call myself religious, but I'm like, you're forced into a body, right? You're forced into a body, and so, hey man, sometimes when in doubt, just throw one of those out there. I mean, there's only so many things you can do, okay, with your body. There's only so many things that you can do. And so and so clearly I feel some type of way about throwing up, like, Christian imagery. Like, I don't know why I feel so adverse to it. I don't know why. I don't know. Because all the times that I've actually had, like, Jesus experiences, I've very much liked them. I think just, I don't think I've liked them to the point of, like, devotion. I like Jesus. I like Jesus as much as I like... Oh, this feels blasphemous. I like Jesus as much as I like, some other things. I like Jesus a lot. Okay, I like Jesus a lot. Jesus is a good guy. I don't even know, dude. Do I expect myself to be like this free spirit? Like an interesting androgynous motherfucker? I am interesting and I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in the doctrines. I bet you've never come across someone as interesting as I am in today's society filled with Christians and whoever. And so I find it a little funny that I just said to myself that this is the priority, okay? The priority is no more nicotine. No more vaping. That was my priority. And so that I said that I don't have I guess I just became less uptight in that moment for myself. I said, okay, here's the protocol. We can, as long as we don't vape, everything's okay. Right? So if you need to go into the kitchen and just eat more cookies today, have some more ice cream today, eat some more seeds, have another salad, eat another dinner entirely, have a protein bar, anything that you want to have that, is in that kitchen, just, I don't care if you gain an extra 15 pounds, okay? That if we can just, hold on, boys, hold on, that I heard this, that we can be okay. I heard this from Josh Peck, as this was some advice for some cigarette smoker, as he was going to go on a cruise and he wouldn't have access to these various things. He said, you know what? You should just allow yourself to be and get fat for a little bit. Let that get you through. And I think that is, on this day, we become legendary. I'm telling you that right now. Because I feel like I swear, I feel like I would have an even worse breakdown. I would have the most ridiculous breakdown possible if I tried to do too many things. The upkeep and maintenance of too many things in my life. I had to. It's okay. It's okay. You're okay. You're okay, man. You're okay. You're okay. It wasn't good for you. It was just familiar. It wasn't the best way. It was just all you knew. So this was also, because this is the sort of thing that, I'm supposed to be, this is supposed to be kind of like a documentary or a kind of like a day in my life, day 2, no cigarettes, no nicotine, 9-year nicotine guy, addict. How you feeling? What's your take? My take is that you really do start seeing the world differently. And I guess I'm just more fascinated to see what happened. I don't know what the fuck is actually happening, right? Because I'm using this is ugly. I'm using spiritual tools. You know what? Whatever. I'm using tools and skills that I have developed to change my state of mind, to change my experience of the world. I'm using these things in the ways that I'm most conscious of, to use them to my advantage. And it's ineffable. It is shining nothingness. When I can let it. And it's not limited to the shining nothingness being overwhelmingly beautiful. It's also characterized by just being completely mundane. It reminding you of a childhood where you existed before you were even introduced to in this case, the substances that ended up abusing you. And it's wonderful. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the more distance that's put between myself and that. Because because it hasn't actually been very long, you almost don't believe that you don't believe. You don't believe, it hasn't been enough time for you to even believe. And this isn't the first time you've tried this. I don't even come into the picture when it comes to reminding myself of anything. The moment that I have that sort of immediate, sort of eye-opening, I want it! Please, please, please. The craving, the urge. The urge. Mel Gibson talking about how I quit vaping, how I quit smoking, by Alan Carr. You know, the thing where it's like, okay, we've talked about the bad aspects of vaping. Now, on to the good ones. And then you flip the page, and it's fucking empty. It's like, huh. What are the good things about this, dude? Are we talking about Vape God Austin? Was that the only good thing about vaping? Vape God Austin? The dude that popularized it? The dude that had the freaking wicked mods? You know Vape God Austin? He had the big vape mods where it's producing more smoke. And then he'd blow some O's. And then he'd move them around in his little vape studio. You know, vapes got different, right? That's how vapes were in the beginning. You gotta fill it with your own juice. Do you want to get custard flavor this time? 3 mgs? 6 mgs? Yeah, I remember when I jumped from 3 to 6. I remember when I had to pre-juice my own coils, dog. Do you remember having to juice your own coils? Prime your coils? Suck the shit out of that fucking cotton, just that thing. Good God. Yeah, then it got arguably worse for a brief moment. You know, then we went to Saltnik. And that's when you get those tiny disposable vapes. Hitting up gas stations. Blowing money on these disposable vapes. And just doing very questionable behavior. Yeah, for sure questionable behavior. In this moment in time, I'm in the mirror, I'm looking at myself, and for the first time, I can see myself as an older person. For the first time in my life, I can see myself, like, growing to be an older person. And having, like, a later life, right? Just, like, growing into an older person. I'm not even kidding, I see, like, grays. I see grays in my hairline right now. I am super happy about that. I'm scared to even be happy. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm scared to be happy. And I would love to know why, right? I'd love to know why I'm scared to be happy. Why? Hit me with it. Dude, can I just... Do I have to tell you everything? No, right? I don't have to tell you everything, okay? I don't have to tell you everything. You don't have to know everything about me. And I can put boundaries up. Okay. So that's that. I'm pretty enthused about the goings on today, though. You know, this is today's day 2. Okay, today's day 2 of vapelessness. Today's day 2 of vapelessness. And I have been feeling cravings every time. Like, it's so weird. It's like, it's at the beginning or the ending of every moment, every new moment, right? And I think to myself, well, what do you mean by that? You know, what is the middle of the moment? How many moments have we had here as I've sat in this chair and talked in the 36 minutes that I've been here, which has, like, time is moving so strange. I swear to God, it 2 hours? I kind of feel like it's been like 2 hours here. Time's just moving differently for me right now. You know, anytime I transition from, like, one room to another, we'll say, there's always been that vape hit that I'll take, and that's the kind of feeling that I feel. I feel like the absence of something. And I can't wait to hit 30 days. I can't wait to hit 30 days because then, you know, for whatever reason, that's proving it to myself. And somehow, like, the rest of my life just flies by. Like, the rest of my life after this 30 days is just kaputsko. That's gone, or what? Like, we're not thinking of the goddamn. There's probably gonna be like thousands of days after the next 30 days, right? Thousands of days. What about those thousands of days, right? What about those? Well, I mean, the same thing remains. I mean, this war is not over. Okay, this war is not over. I've already set my flag down. I've set my flag down in the country. I've claimed it. I've conquered it. I have said, and I have taken the final vape hit that I will ever take in my life. That has already happened. The Band-Aid has already been pulled. The injection has already been given. And now it's just about putting space and time between that last one and the rest of my life. And so it's as easy as that. 1. And 2, You know what worries me? You know, part of me worries that, like, how much of this is, like, actual resolve, like, true, like, strength, or, like, it's really gonna happen, or it really happened, or, like, it's actualized this time. And then, you know, just, like, versus how much of it is just, this is what I want, and, oh, I only want it for now, and then I'll go back on my word, or whatever. You know, how do I know that? You don't, buddy. You don't. But just imagine, like, all of the things about life that, like you weren't able to experience because of the sort of way that this thing has been controlling your life. And, you know, once again, play the tape out is one of my favorite ideas. Play the tape out. You know, what's going to happen? If you ever turn back to it at this point in time, I mean, we have severely fucked up. And I don't really think there is a way around. I don't mean to put a curse on you, right? I don't mean to put a curse on you, but me, who inevitably this is for me personally to listen back on. Because I've got a problem, right? I don't know. I've got some kind of, like, complex. I've got some kind of complex, right? Like, I don't know. I don't think I'd ever listen to any life advice from somebody. Except for me. Even though my life, if you put it on paper, would not be like the life if I was ever up in heaven on a cloud and I just had to pick one at random, I don't think I really would have picked this one. Just based off of, like, the shit that describes me on paper. I don't know. But, so, you know, whatever. You know, obviously I've got self-love. And so that can be what that is. And so I have been, like, very unregulated, which has been, this is the part that really destroys me, is the unregulated part. You know, I'm so type A. I want to be type A, because type A is, like, it's easy. type A is so predictable. You know, the problems that come with being a very on top of yourself and very strict type A personality is that your stress comes from trying to do things on a times table, trying to get to building an itinerary, tailoring the itinerary, and then trying to like mentally calculate, how long the itinerary is going to take to complete, and then the completing and the foregoing of all the things on the itinerary. And the stress of being a very type A, strict, orderly person in that way about time schedules and tempo and events and activities and time is that there's like blockings to your day. There's like a pattern to your life. And there's like a structure and a stability, even though built into that stability is like scheduled suffering. It's like, yes, I'm going to suffer for an hour and 30 minutes, and then I'm going to take a 15-minute break, and then I'm going to go in for another 45-minute steep of suffering, and then I'm going to take a 30, or perhaps just an unlogged. I'm going to take an unlogged whatever, and then it's back to the grind. Then I'm going to make sure I get my 8 hours of slumber, and then it's another 9 hours of continuous. And it's this. And right now I'm very unregulated, right? I've got a lot of time to experience life in all these various different ways. And, now in my life, I just have a different unknown. I've got a different unknown. It's like, what am I hiding? Well, it's not like I'm not hiding the vapes, right? I don't have those anymore. So now what is it that I'm afraid of them knowing? Huh? I'm going to save that one for myself again. I'm going to enact my ability to put up a boundary, and I'm going to keep this to myself, and I'm not going to put it into words right now. And so, I'm telling you, son, okay, a sniper. It's been a long time coming, bro. I mean, a long time coming. I have been setting things up for so fucking long to finally have the fucking life of my dreams, dude. You wouldn't believe it. And I do feel like I'm getting closer to that. And this is something that I have to reiterate, actually, at this sort of point in my life, because I'm on day 2, okay? I'm on day 2, and I'm I feel like a Holocaust survivor that is given M&Ms and shit, and they have to be very conscious of how many they eat, or else they might die from just that extra nutrition or something. And that's because for the longest time I lived my life in a sort of go with the flow, if it feels right, do it. And that also kind of led itself to just invite bad decisions to be made in my life. just, allowing myself to just do things that I don't even blame myself, man. I don't. You just... I want to stop talking. I want to end this recording now, and I think I want to go for a bike ride or something like that, and hopefully find my soulmate out there in another body, and then... And so, I want to go on a bike ride to go pick up my goddamn soulmate and put her on my pegs and shit. And so she could see me in my gray shirt and blue sweat suit pants. And then and so because I was going to end this recording, I wanted to end it with like one last statement, right? So my statement would be that this has been day 2. And so I suppose this has been like a kind of active display. This has been a display in itself of what is symptomatic of day 2 of severe nicotine addiction. I'm talking like, 9 years of just this thing that has been like kind of increasing, ramping up. I would sleep with this thing, like bedside. I would wake up from a dream holding this thing. Sometimes I'd wake up from a dream, this thing's in my mouth, and I don't have it registered that it's a vape for some reason, and then it's like I'm almost dissociating. I'm trying to say that it was bad. It was severe. It was severe addiction. And so this is day 2 of cutting it out of my life. And and this was supposed to be the final sentence, but this is actually opening itself up to a crazy fucking door. And what that door is there's this aspect of my mind that tells me, it's like, that's the end of those thoughts right there. I just want to let you know that, once you get the message, hang up the phone. Okay? If you hang out with a bunch of demons, you're gonna turn into a demon. Or the demons are gonna... Or you're the demon's dinner. Yeah. If you hang around a whole bunch of unsavory people, guess what you become? So, no comment about that. I'm gonna go ride a freaking bicycle for the first time in like a year probably. And then I don't care, okay? I don't care. I'm probably going to eat like a lot of food tonight for a little bit. Maybe just more, okay? I'm gonna, because I don't want that to be my next goddamn problem, right? I don't want to open up the floodgates. I just wanted to open up the gates a little bit, just a little bit, but holy shit, I recognize I'm not really a guy that's meant for temperance or moderation. Moderation has never been my shit. Also, Austin, middle finger to you, peace sign, middle finger to you, for calling me fat when we were toddlers and shit. And implementing that trauma into my brain. And so right now, I'm Killua from Hunter x Hunter. I just fucking, and you're Illumi, and you put that pin inside my forehead for a long time. I just recognized it. Zoop, and I pulled it out just now. Zoop, gone. And I'm no longer operating under shallow principles, totally. I mean, I hope I'm not. I really hope I'm not. But, I mean, just always looking into mirrors and looking for, what the fuck is wrong with me? And just always having just a critique. I mean, your mind stays at that level, and honestly, what the fuck is your life at that point? When your life just happens to revolve around what you think of you and how you should change, and all these aspects of just how you're not good enough, and that's, what your life is made of? It truly is made up. It's truly, a lot of your life is made up of that. You don't like how you look physically or whatever, and then so you just do all these things to get around that in some way, and and so I'm quitting. I quit vaping. Yeah, I had my last vape 2 days ago, and my whole big thing is I didn't even throw them away. I just had them there, and I hope that's the way to go about things. This is day 2, so I guess we'll see, or something. But I just left it out. I wanted it to be just like that. I wanted to just leave it out, and just have the ability to look at it and be like, yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. And not just have it tucked away. I don't know. I guess that's just my way of going about things, and I'm getting on a motherfucking bike. I'm gonna go and ride a motherfucking bike. And so this has been about an hour so far. And this has been the longest hour I have ever felt in my lifetime. Really, dude. Really. So, I don't know if this excites me, really, or if this terrifies me. And I hope that this is all good. I hope that this can turn more into a good thing as we get further from, that sort of event horizon, because, I used to use it as a treat or whatever, every so often I'm gonna go, and every 2 hours, every so often I'm gonna go and have a little treat, I'm gonna go hit a little bit of a vape, have a little bit of a nicotine rush, I'm gonna go give myself a little bit of a treat, and that's what it was, and, so not having that, I suppose it's just another kind of thing to get used to. And so, catch ya in the next one.